Anything I want, he gives it to me. Anything I want, he gives it, but not for free. It's a hateful. So Bono is talking to his disciples, and he's telling them all about how this song was written that he's in the middle of, Silver and Gold. He's telling them that it's about this man who lives in this shack in South Africa and has been under the oppression of the white government all his life, and he's beat down. And he can tell he's kind of losing his disciples. They're getting a little agitated. So he says, "Am I bugging you? I don't mean to bug you. I mean, I can't do it the way Bono does it. He's Bono, he's cool. Yeah. Am I bugging you? I don't mean to bug you. Edge, play the blues." Like that. Now, while comparisons of Jesus to Bono are not rare, they are somewhat limited. But I feel like Jesus has a little bit of that energy here in this text. Because the disciples, say to him in the gospel text for this week, "Jesus, teach us to pray the way John's disciples pray." And Jesus is like, "Really? That's what you want?" See, this subject has come up before, the subject of how John's disciples pray compared to Jesus. Actually, in chapter 5, starting verse 33, the Pharisees bring it up. They see Jesus eating with sinners, and they ask, "How come John's disciples pray and fast all the time, like the Pharisees do, but your disciples eat and drink?" And it's funny because, right before our text, Jesus had been eating and drinking in the house of a woman, a violation for Jesus, because Jesus has no familial relationship with this woman, with Martha. But the disciples, see, they want something different than what Jesus is giving them. They don't want to go around all the time with Jesus violating the laws and social mores. They want some more disciple-ish sort of things to do, some more righteous, legitimate, disciple-ish kinds of things to do. So that's why they ask Jesus, they say, "Teach us to pray, like John's disciples do." They seem like legit disciples. We want to be a little bit more righteous like that. And so Jesus teaches them this prayer, not an uncommon prayer, probably a prayer they already knew. But then he goes on, he's like, "This is what you really want, right?" And he tells this story about the persistence in prayer, and how if you just are persistent and you pray frequently, that God will give you what he wants. Even if God doesn't want to, he'll have to, because of the way you pray. You want to be able to pray and be righteous and have it be your own work. And Jesus says, that's not what I'm going to give you. Instead, I'm going to give you the Holy Spirit. Or as Craig reads in his comment on the blog, maybe it's a spirit of holiness, not the third person of the Trinity. I'm going to give you, instead of this rote thing that you can do and be proud of yourself and feel like you've prayed fervently and righteously and religiously, shall we say, instead I'm going to give you this spirit of holiness. And maybe that spirit of holiness is present when we're where the sinners are, eating and drinking. How do you read? Let me play you out with this. You know that Bono isn't the only prophet from those islands. Anything I want, he gives it to me. Anything I want, he gives it, but not for free. It's a hateful